welcome back to Movin' Right Along, Muppet Family Christmas Edition, brought to you by toughpigs.com. This is the podcast where we watch A Muppet Family Christmas 2 minutes at a time and talk about it a lot. I'm your host, Ryan Rowe.
I'm your other host, Anthony Strand.
And I'm the most famous reindeer of all, Danny Horn.
Danny Horn joining us for one more day. Very happy to have you back. Thank you for being with
Christmas
us.
marathon.
Yes.
So pleased to be here.
Today we are watching minutes 23 and 24 of A Muppet Family Christmas, in which the Sesame Street gang finishes their Christmas pageant, and Piggy calls Kermit from a phone booth in a blizzard. And as we pick things up here, Ernie is concluding the line of the poem from the pageant, in which not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. Then he cues the mouse, and it's Grover. Grover is wearing this little, mouse, almost Mickey Mouse style mouse ears hat, but furry. And
gray, yeah.
And gray, yes. He says, I am here, the cute little mouse is here. He is also holding a bowl, and when Bert asks him what's the bowl for, he says, so you can see that I am not stirring. Note that the hand never touches the spoon.
Yeah, it's just gorgeous.
Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah, and everyone applauds, and he says, thank you. And I think he says, thank you, public.
Thank you, public.
Thank you, public. Yeah,
which
is the best touch. This is all great, like you say. But,
yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, as he's heading back behind the curtain. I do feel like I've heard this joke somewhere else before, like in a few places, probably. Because
what, the creature wasn't stirring?
Not a creature was stirring, yeah. Because people do still use the word stirring occasionally to refer to somebody, moving. But mostly when we talk about stirring, it's like stirring a drink or a bowl, something like that. So maybe in the Bugs Bunny Christmas special, I think there's some gag with Speedy Gonzales where he's stirring even though he's a mouse.
There's a Pogo comic strip.
Pogo, yeah. Is there a mouse in Pogo?
Yes, very much so.
Oh, okay, there you go. So not a unique joke, but still very funny when delivered by Grover.
And Pogo also famously Jim Henson's favorite comic.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
When I say famously, I mean in the DC 50th anniversary comic, Jim Henson says, I read Superman and Superboy, but my favorite comic was Pogo. Kermit grew up in the swamp too.
Right. Yeah. So he just ripped it off from there.
That's the one time that you've ever done a reference. I have no idea what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
Okay, so in 1985, DC Comics published a comic called DC 50th Anniversary, and they got a bunch of celebrities to do a blurb about DC Comics. One of them is Jim Henson, and that's what he said. This is on Muppet Wiki. It's documented on the wiki. If you look up DC Comics,
I can't remember. Oh my god. Okay,
didn't he say he
liked right by me.
Captain the DC Captain Marvel at some point too? I
yeah,
had that in my head.
He says Captain Marvel. Yeah, I'm here. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna pull it up here on Muppet Wiki. I've always been interested in comic books as an art form, and when I was younger, I was addicted to them. I read Superman and Superboy, but Captain Marvel was probably my favorite of the superheroes.
There we go.
The comic I loved best though was Pogo. After all, Kermit's beginnings were in a swamp too.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's great. We're doing such a good job of keeping this short.
I know, we really are.
So Fozzie's ma says that they're adorable. Oscar says don't encourage them. He's just disgusted. He sees this stuff all the time. So he's just
it's not fun for him.
Let's just get the show over with as soon as possible.
It's so funny to me that Oscar came on this trip at all.
That's true. It's like Sam. Yeah. Why am I here?
Yeah, it's very why am I here?
Yeah.
He could have stayed home, but he never would. Of course, that's the paradox of Oscar.
Because he likes being miserable.
Just love. That's good. Did you hear Carol Spinney say that on the talk show or something?
I think they're somewhere.
DC Comics anniversary.
They asked Oscar the Grouch about his favorite DC comic,
and Oscar the Grouch said, "When I read Brother Power the Geek, it makes me miserable," and I love that.
Captain Marvel wasn't even DC.
Not originally. Yeah. Thank you for pointing that out.
Not in Jim's youth, that's right. Yeah.
Right.
Famously.
Fawcett Comics.
Right, yes. I'm glad you said that because if you hadn't, somebody would have pointed it out in the Facebook comments.
It's kind of a burn, really. Yeah. From Jim Henson. The stuff I really liked was not stuff he
was this other company.
Yeah, it was another company and then Pogo, which you had.
Yeah, and really I just like opening a newspaper.
Why did they ask him?
Because he was famous.
He was famous. He was a famous guy.
I know, he had nothing.
The guy behind Muppet Babies. The hit Saturday morning show at the time.
That's true.
So Ernie has been reading this whole pageant from this green folded up piece of paper that has like some text on it that I could not make out. I would love to know what this is. I wonder if it's just like some sort of a lighting cue document or something that he got from a crew member and folded up, and it does not look like it has the text of "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" on it. So yeah, I'd really like to know what that actually is.
You know what? We'll find out when they do the Blu-ray.
I was thinking that. Yeah, I hope they
high resolution.
There is probably a 0% chance that this will ever get remastered in any form, but we can always hope.
Right.
The next line is, "When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprung from my bed to see what was the matter. Open the curtain!" And they open the curtain.
I love the way Ernie rolls straight into "open the curtain."
Yeah.
Which also, Danny, you talked about characters who sound the same in this.
Oh yeah. There's a Kermit in there. Yeah,
that's a very
Henson
Kermit.
says curtain, like he said it on the Muppet Show all the time, right?
Exactly.
He stood in front of one.
Yeah, and there's the reindeer being played by the monsters, including, as we mentioned, Harry, and then also Elmo is there as one of the reindeer.
This is Elmo's biggest featured role in this special. You know, he doesn't have any lines.
No, that's true. Yeah. So which of the reindeer do you think Harry and Elmo are playing? Like, is Harry Blitzen? Is Elmo Donner?
Elmo is Dancer because of Happy Tappin' with Elmo.
Okay.
I think you got it. Yeah.
I'll buy that.
Final answer.
Great.
Yeah.
And then Bert is just flabbergasted by this. Apparently, they haven't rehearsed this before because Bert is shocked to see this.
Well, that's what this is, the rehearsal. No, but it's like we need to just discuss. Like, I just think it's amazing that Elmo is in this and does not speak. And there's like 2 Christmas specials that they're going to make that have Elmo's name in the title.
Right.
Like Elmo saves Christmas.
Right. Well, 3 really. I mean, there's Elmo's World Happy Holidays.
Oh, you're right.
And Elmo's Christmas Countdown.
Elmo's Christmas Countdown.
Yeah.
Elmo, what is it, like 9 years in the future of this will be Christmas, like in 1996.
He will be Sesame Street.
Elmo is all of Christmas that year.
Right.
Yeah, right. No, you're right. Yeah, right. He meets Doc Hopper at the North Pole, and he's a popular toy in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so just it's
Charles
funny
Strand.
seeing him. It's funny seeing him in this special where it's like you look at him, it's just like, oh, just wait, little Elmo. You don't have any lines today.
No, yeah, he's on the show by this point.
You are.
I mean, this must be a deliberate choice to include him here. He's on the show and like in the street stories and stuff, but he's not a star yet.
Is Kevin Clash doing him yet?
Kevin Clash is doing him. This is 87. So this is after, like, for example, when Snuffy is revealed, Elmo is very much there. He holds on to his snuffle to try to keep him from leaving. Right around this time is when Maria and Luis got married. And that's 88, I think.
A little bit after, yeah.
And Elmo is the ring bearer,
Right, don't drop the ring, Elmo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess actually it's just like,
he's part of the gang.
Like it's like y'all said that they have like Jerry Nelson and Richard Hunt.
Right.
And Jim Henson and Frank Oz and like
and Carol.
And Kevin just isn't there. And so that's why Elmo doesn't.
And he's not quite a star at the level of Big Bird yet. Yeah. So, but he will be.
Just wait.
And then Bert also then asks, "Where's Santa Claus?" And that's when Ernie says, "With a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment he must be Saint Nick." And there is Santa Claus, and it's the 2-headed monster. They're wearing their beards and their Santa hats, and they're just so happy to be in this pageant. They say, "Hello!" And this is when we see Sam the Eagle. He is not having a great time. This is when he says, "Is nothing sacred?" and covers his face.
Which, as we noted earlier, Sam's second and final line.
Yes.
He has 2 lines and they're both perfect. Is nothing sacred and why am I here?
Yep.
Like, incredible.
Yeah, totally in character and everything. Bert asks, "Who let the 2-headed monster be Santa Claus?" And Ernie replies, "Bert, he said he'd never been in a play before. I mean, they said it. Both of him said it."
Both of him said it is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's lovely.
I love it. And then Bert tells Ernie to go to the big finish, which I guess is why they skip over like 90% of the poem. And Ernie goes to, "I heard him exclaim ere he drove out of sight." And the Santa Claus says, "Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night." The curtain closes, and that's the end of the pageant. Any final thoughts on the pageant before we move on?
Like, it's just so beautiful and cute, and we kind of don't have anything.
All right.
Yeah, except just like it's so beautiful and cute.
I know that's the
Right,
thing
yeah,
about
we've
the
just been doing the
special.
lines. Yeah,
Yeah, it's just tempting to keep saying like, "Oh, this is so good. This is so good. This is so
Right.
good."
Well, it's one of those things where I will say I think it's valuable, like that it's in here because Sesame Street pageants were a thing. They were on the show.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't know that I would remember them as fondly or think about them as often as someone who was again born in the mid '80s.
yeah,
If it wasn't for this special,
yeah.
where it's like one of the things they have to do for Sesame Street is a pageant,
Where it's something like so representative of Sesame Street.
right?
Yeah.
And this is actually like this special. I kind of hadn't thought about it. Is like this beautiful little time capsule of where everybody in all of these things that we love, like this is where they were in 1987.
Mhm.
Right.
Elmo's not a big thing. Forgetful Jones is still there.
Right. Kermit and Piggy are basically a couple,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, which is something that
That's-
had been
that's
established
very
more in the
mid-80s,
movies.
yeah.
Like, yeah, this is after like a few years after Muppets Take Manhattan, where it was kind of just like, all right, they're together, they're married, they're whatever,
yeah,
they're in a relationship of some kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then like no sooner is the pageant over than immediately Doc is bursting through the front door, slamming it on Lips.
yeah.
Which is a nice little that this is Lips' big moment in the special, is getting slammed by a door.
And then like picking himself up and going, "Rah," like shaking it off.
Yeah, he shakes it
Which is
off.
super cute. This is like that he would have been Bean Bunny.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. They would have used Bean for that later. Yeah.
Right.
Interesting
Yeah.
that it's still a Steve Whitmire character.
Mhm. So Doc asks if everyone has seen the weather. It's a real storm out there. And Ma is looking out the window and says, "I haven't seen a sky like that since the blizzard of 41. So Anthony, I think you had something about the blizzard of 41?
I sure do. So I theorized earlier that this special takes place in my home area, right?
Right.
Eastern North Dakota, Western Minnesota, where I'm from. Jerry Jewell is, of course, from the Twin Cities area.
Mhm.
So Jerry Jewell would almost certainly have known that the blizzard of 41 in the Red River Valley occurred, sometimes called the Ides of March blizzard. But what did my grandma call it? The blizzard of 41 was a huge blizzard in mid-March 1941 that killed 151 people.
Wow.
Yikes.
This is like a real horrible storm.
Yeah.
That is like a well-known thing. Or like I say, like it's a thing my grandma would talk about. It occurred when she was 10 years old, 9 years old. So maybe it's
So that must
right?
be
Right.
No, yeah, that sounds right.
But just the fact that Jerry Jewell's from here, I would think
Yeah.
that's true. So
Yeah.
Fozzie grew up on a farmhouse, same area as me. Fozzie and I are neighbors. That's all
Aw.
that's all there is to it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
nice. But blizzard of 41. So this is really serious. Like there's
Yeah,
real stakes here. Then Ma says it's a good thing all of Kermit's friends are safe and warm inside the farmhouse. But of course he points out that they're not all safe and warm inside. Doc says, "Sorry to hear that. It's cold enough out there to freeze your Winnebago." Now, this I want to say is probably the second most frequently quoted line from the special by Muppet fans. The most frequently quoted being "Careful of the icy patch."
Yeah.
Sure. My brother, certainly, who's like a casual Muppet fan, my brother Benjamin, you bring up Muppet Family Christmas. Like I told him we were doing these podcasts, and he's like, "Oh, cold enough out there to freeze your Winnebago."
Yeah,
Like that's just what it is.
right.
That's what special this is.
Well,
It's the one
and
where they say that.
there are often times in our lives when we encounter cold weather, in the winter. So it's very useful when it gets really cold to say, "Man, it's cold enough out here to freeze your Winnebago." I've often used it in the presence of people who I know for a fact are not going to get the reference, but it just sounds funny and it's fun.
Yeah.
So
Same. Yeah.
Winnebago, of course, that's a company that makes RVs and motorhomes. So it's cold enough to freeze your motorhome. Then the phone rings. Kermit runs to answer it, and it's Miss Piggy. She is calling from a payphone. She finished her Christmas shopping, but unfortunately, Jerome got the limo stuck in a snowbank.
He would.
Yeah, Jerome, man.
And while she's talking, there's like a horrifying like squeal and crash.
Yeah, it's a disaster outside of that payphone.
Agonizing crash.
There's snow flying everywhere and just squealing brakes and crashing, and it's a terrible time to be out there.
And the thing that I love about this, I know I've talked like long ago when we were doing the Muppet movie about like Miss Piggy's ability to just believe whatever she believes and then like make the world kind of model itself around her. So basically, she, as a character, decided that she was a movie star, and then it actually happened in real life.
Yes.
And you can see like some of that spirit here, I think, of like, oh yeah, no, it's horrifying out there. It's the blizzard of 41 and we're going to lose people. And she's like, nope, I'll be there soon.
Right. She's just convinced herself that like, yeah, if I just want everything to be fine, everything will be fine.
Yeah, just force of personality and not really caring about what anybody else says or does.
Yeah.
She's going to get there.
Well, we'll see if she does or not, because this is where the clip ends, is with Piggy in this precarious situation. So any final thoughts on these 2 minutes? Danny, starting with you.
I just want to say thank you, public.
Great. Anthony?
No, we talked about all my stuff.
Great. So, Danny, we like to ask our guests on this mini season, what's your history with this TV special, and just like your general thoughts on it?
I wish I had a good story.
Did you see it the first time it aired on TV?
I did, yes. I watched it. I was at that point like back into the Muppets. I had like a couple years off and got back into Muppets like in 1985. And yeah, like watched it, taped it, and loved it, and watched it over and over and over again.
Yeah. This would be like, if you weren't already back into the Muppets, this I feel like would
this
pull
would be
you
the
back
thing
in.
that would get me there.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
All right. So, do you have anything then, Danny, that you would like to plug as we reach the conclusion of your week on this podcast?
I certainly do. Yeah, I am now writing a new blog that I started a couple months ago called Superheroes Every Day, which is a daily blog about the history of superhero movies, starting with the first blockbuster, Superman the movie, in 1978, and then continuing the chronology from there.
It is, if I can be candid,
yes,
the greatest thing.
Yes.
I love it so much.
The greatest thing. It is big and crazy. It turns out I have a lot to say about superhero movies.
Well, and like
I'm just gonna go ahead and say it all.
When like you said that it's about superhero movies, but like there are posts in this thing where it's like, let's go ahead and look back at like a bunch of
you're just digging into the history of Superman as a character, as a concept, like all these different aspects of his mythology and how they came together in the movie.
You'll just be like, what's the deal with Phantom Zone projectors? Here's a bunch of Silver Age stories.
Here's an entire post about it.
It's great.
And
I love it.
Yeah, and there are just more like weird little surprises coming up. I'm going to be talking about like just the history of blockbuster movies and American culture in general. There's going to be a lot of stuff packed into this blog, so I hope people come check it out. It's superheroeseveryday.com.
Yeah, if you have enjoyed Danny's work on Tough Pigs and you would like to read that same kind of style, talking about superheroes, which like most people are interested in these days, then you should definitely check it out.
Great.
So do that, and then listeners, always you can check us out on the internet, Twitter, Facebook, etc. If you're so inclined, we would also love to have your support on our Patreon, or you could buy some merchandise, t-shirts and stuff on our store on TeePublic. We would appreciate that very much. We would also appreciate it if you come back tomorrow, when we will have a different guest, and we will continue this Christmas party right here on Moving Right Along. Goodbye.
Happy holidays.
Goodbye.